So with our lovely Miss Mabel, ready? So she is a lovely little itty bitty lady. So when you're working with puppies, I know a lot of times they can be like little piranhas with legs. So I would highly recommend to at times also feed the floor as well as sometimes the flat palm. So we will be working on like a gentle or easy exercise as well. So our lovely can start to make sure that teeth aren't part of the process when taking snacks. A lot of times if your puppy gets really excited, maybe the food is of high value from their perspective, or maybe they're in a new environment and there's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of times if puppies' arousal or excitement goes up, their mouth starts to get harder. So if you're finding that your puppy is, again, land shark, you may find what can be helpful is to feed the floor or even help them by practicing catching. So that way they're not always necessarily going and grabbing your fingers at the same time while they're grabbing the snack. So right now I was just warming up, our lovely Miss M with some find its. So find its are one of my favorite exercises if you couldn't tell by some of the previous videos, but it involves your puppy. She didn't see that one, so ready? Find it. So it involves your puppy going and following a snack that's being tossed. You can sometimes toss more than one snack at a time. That was beautiful. To make sure that your puppy is sometimes staying occupied with something instead of the original behavior. So if, let's say she was really excited about seeing someone coming in the home, as opposed to barking and whining and trying to rush at them, you could do some find its, but apply several goodies on the floor. So that way your puppy can then go and grab those as opposed to bombarding the company. So for Miss M, as I'm practicing, I also want to sometimes feed like livestock, like flat palm. So as, let's say your puppy offers a beautiful little sit, I can go yes and then feed with my flat palm. So at no point do my fingers get nibbled on. A lot of times we as people tend to, again, clump good and bad behaviors into certain bubbles. Remember that puppies will do whatever brings them comfort, makes them feel safe, and at times also just gives them some attention or some reinforcement from their perspective. So if, let's say, mouthing finally gives her a lot of attention because, let's say, you guys were busy working or busy tending to kids or whatever it might be, your puppy might start to think, gee, every time I do this, they come and pay attention. So there are going to be moments too where if the mouthiness is getting really, really rough, and I just want to help her find these snacks, if the mouthiness is getting really, really hard, it's typically your puppy needs a rest period. So she will need 18 to 20 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period. So you will have plenty, yes, of moments to give her little breaks. So you'll see right there, I did my little positive interrupter. That is one of my favorite sort of signals for the babes to come check in. So she's like, lady, I'm ready for more. So if, let's say, for example, you're trying to get your puppy's attention, as opposed to scolding or saying, hey, you knock it off or that's enough, think, what would I rather have my puppy do? So I like to send her away with a little snack and then practice bringing her into my space and feeding for that reorientation from the little find it back to me. This could also be from the environment. So let's say, chewing is optional, but let's say she is busy doing some exploration or she's sniffing something or she's distracted. So let's pretend she's off and finding, of course, she didn't see that one. Ready? Find it. But let's say she, for example, is distracted by something in the environment. You could then practice getting her to go hear that little kiss noise and come check in. The other option too is, let's say, for example, she is eating your fingers a bit hard. Remember to feed flat palm, but you can also, for example, work on hi cuteness, sorry about that. She's like, lady, I go in between all the legs. So let's say, for example, you're working on gentle or easy. This is getting your puppy to be soft as they're approaching the hand and not eating your whole fist or fingertips. Oh my gosh, chewing. So let's say Miss M is going to do a little bit with gentle or easy. I like to put the food right into my palm. I put my thumb inside, close my fist, and then I offer this part of my hand to the puppy. If they go and they nuzzle and lick, I then open my palm and allow them to grab the snack right off of my flat hand. So as they're getting sort of soft with this, she's like, greatest day of her life. She's like, oh, I like your rag too. It smells delicious. So I'm going to go ahead, offer my hand. So gentle or easy, and then yes to feed. We do want to mark the moment she does the right skill with the YES. So I like to use yes. Other folks might like other slogans. So right here, yes, and I feed. So in the beginning, you'll see that I don't say the cue word, or some folks will call it a command. I tend to call it a cue because it's more of a could you offer this skill versus you must. If there's moments where your puppy is unavailable to offer behavior, that typically means, one, they don't understand. And again, always think about your puppy as a furry little exchange student who has no idea what's expected of her verbally, culturally, or physically. So if you imagine that she only speaks German or maybe Portuguese or whatever it might be, yes, then we want to make sure that we're showing her the things we'd like her to do versus yelling about it or reminding her over and over when she doesn't speak English. What was it, Abba? Okay, I'll be right there. Abba needs some assistance. My little 4-year-old is also here helping. So, but with this gentle or easy, closed fist, gentle, and then open to offer the food. But make sure that if she is struggling, we try to help her and show her what we'd like. Yes. So I'm marking these moments that she's offering either all four on the floor or her bum on the ground, offering that sit. But if, let's say, she says, lady, I would rather like to wrestle. So we're just going to give her a little breather. I'm going to go help Ebba with something, and then we're going to keep working through some more of these little skills. And then that way she can be situated with her snack, and then I can work a little bit more with this lovely little lady. So again, she's just doing these finits. Then we might go, Mabel, yes. So we can work a little bit through that name recognition as well. We're just going to pause for 1 second, and we'll come right back to Miss M working some more of this.